We're back to Making Money Matter, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host once again, Kerry Stevenson, and today back to my favorite topic, especially at the moment with the gold price staying steady, little bit of a pullback, but not too much. I kind of was expecting that. But I think what we are seeing is the start of a gold bull market. So I've asked James Gurry, he's the managing director of Navarre Minerals. The ASX code was, probably still is,
Yeah,
NML, but they're
it is.
suspended. It will continue to be NML. I want to dive deep, if you like, into what happened to Navarre and what the new team are going to be doing. So, James, thank you so much for your time. I know you've just literally about 10 or 12 days ago completed an AGM. You're imminently, in fact, probably when this goes to air, you'll probably be back on the boards. It's any moment now. So it's an exciting time, James. But I remember back in the day, obviously Navarre went into administration. What my audience would want to hear from is, who are you and why did you think that these were worth fighting for, I guess, these assets? Because they're down in Victoria. It's around the Stawell Corridor. There's some interesting assets there, but really, why did you say this is worth a restructure, a recapitalization, and going ahead? Because let's just go through that.
Yeah, terrific, Kerry. Thanks for having me on your channel. And the gold price has been running, but we have not yet been able to participate. So look forward to the shares trading later this week, and let's see what happens given our complete valuation reset that we have had. Um, And answering your question, I started working with the company just prior to it going into administration. So I was helping the old team have a look at what they could do. And then in June 2023, the guys called in the voluntary administrators. And
Yeah.
that was primarily due to the acquisition that the company did in Queensland with the Mount Carlton gold mine. And it took on obviously quite extensive financial commitments. And the counterparty has probably done, hundreds of deals in its time. The gold price was not, terrific back in June 2023, if you remember. And the asset certainly wasn't living up to the geological potential that the previous team saw. So it was quite a pity to put the company into voluntary administration and see the employees lose their jobs. However, I recognized value in the company back then. I saw a bit of a solution as to what should have taken place. Now, things have panned out on the whole, a little bit like that, in that I saw significant value in the historic and the heritage assets that the company has here in Victoria, the high grade exploration. And, Navarre was hot on exploration in Victoria way before anyone else was. And 22 tenements across the state, it's a large exploration portfolio. So if there was the opportunity to remove the troublesome asset and to completely remove all the debt, I thought that actually could be quite have a lot of valuation potential for people who were prepared to do the hard work and back the company through that sort of restructure. And that's why I put forward a proposal to the administrator to recapitalize the company in its current form with the current ticker in place. And take it back and sort of do the right thing and acknowledge what has gone on in the past, but also take it back to the existing set of shareholders, of which there were over 5,000. So
Wow.
a lot of people had sort of done their dough, so to speak, or literally. But they're the ones that knew the company and the historic assets the best, right? And they were the ones that we prioritized in our recent recapitalization. So the idea was to take it back to the market, take it back to the old shareholders at the lowest possible valuation in the recapitalization. So I secured an agreement to secure the listed company and all the Victorian tenements and assets from the administrator. It was a little over $500,000 in cash that we had to pay. It was a lot of re-compliance work that we had to do thereafter in terms of the ASX reporting requirements and also the tenement reporting requirements. That was all done and completed a number of months ago. And we just completed the second step recapitalisation. But in that second step recapitalisation, we stuck to that mantra of keeping it at the lowest possible valuation that we could. One, to ensure it was successful, and two, to give that priority to the old shareholders so that should they be able to stomach it, and they certainly have, because we had over 300 of the old shareholders participate in our recapitalisation. Bring it back to those guys at the lowest possible valuation to give them and everyone else who's backed it early the best chance of success as we come back onto the boards this week.
When you say the second step recapitalisation, what did you mean by that? Because I didn't really follow that.
Sure, Kerry. You might recall yourself that we approached a number of people, including any of the significant professional investors on the register early in the year, because I secured an agreement with the administrator and I had to come up with over $500,000 in cash to pay him. And so because we didn't have the ability to issue shares back then, we
Right.
had to do a convertible debt capital raise. And that secured the company, bought it out of administration. And because we approached all equity investors at that stage, that all those investors were very well, they were either were previous investors in the company or they were high net worth individuals who have done recapitalizations before. The important thing is they were equity holders and long-term investors, and they were happy to see their debt converted into equity. And that's just happened in the last few hours, actually, which is great. They're happy to be long-term participants in the future of the company as a listed company and as a shareholder, which is terrific. So that was the stage one recapitalisation, and we've just done what you call the re-compliance capitalisation, which is when you raise money just before your shares trade again on the ASX.
All right. You've got a new team around you. I often say to people, you can have the best asset in the world, but the wrong team could still stuff it up.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for our audience to understand who's the new team and why are they qualified and well qualified to give this value going down the road now because of what's gone on before. I'm sure some people are going, oh, I'm not sure, but tell us about the team and why they're qualified to do what they're going to be doing.
Absolutely, Kerry. And because of what went on in the past, one of the key things was to have a complete refresh at the board level and at the executive team level so that we've got a new team and we'll actually have a new image going forward. We're in the process of changing the name in the coming month or so.
Uh-huh.
But as you say, it was important to reposition the company, having the value of those old assets, but getting a new team on top of them because of the history and what occurred. So it was excellent that I attracted onto the board Richard Taylor, who's been a CEO of a number of small cap companies before. He's been a terrific asset for me and a terrific sounding board and discussion partner as we've gone through the restructure and the repositioning of the company back to the market. But what you say there about having best practice and best management, one of the best examples of value creation that we've seen in Victoria recently is the pathway of Southern Cross Gold.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked across to them and I said, right, anything that we can do to pick up their ways of work or tap into some of their talent, let's do that. And quite a number of people actually recommended that I speak to Angela Lorrigan, who is a career exploration geologist. For the last 3 years, she's been permanently consulting to Southern Cross over there in the Bendigo zone. And Angela was so kind as to join the board recently as our technical director, non-executive
Wow.
director. And she's got a terrific set of experience, not only in Victoria and with Southern Cross in the last 3 years, but prior to that down in Tasmania. Also, again, with this narrow vein style gold that we're chasing here in Victoria and that we know that we've got at Navarre. And Angela has been a terrific addition to the team. There's three of us on the board at the moment, which is great. We're keeping it lean and mean as we
Good.
recapitalise. So it's important that we've had a completely new team. On top of that, as we were uh, coming out of the administration process, it was important that we had an exploration manager and the exploration expertise look over the whole portfolio so that we could take a new approach or a refreshed approach, put a new set of a lens across the portfolio. And we've had Kenny Bush, who is the exploration manager at Southern Cross. He and the team that he consults with, Core Prospecting, they've designed our exploration program that we're just about to launch. A few months ago, they went across the whole portfolio. They visited the sites, they reviewed all the data, and they designed for me the whole 7,000-meter diamond drilling exploration program. It's a continuous program that we're about to kick off in the coming days. So it was terrific to lean on that expertise while we were putting together the more permanent team. And it's great to have a new set of eyes, a fresh set of eyes across these valuable assets that we've got and we're bringing back to the market.
Queensland gone, so that's not part of it. You're just focusing on the Victorian assets. Is that correct? Back to
Yeah,
basics.
100% Kerry. So essentially, I was able to cherry pick the listed company and the Victorian assets out of the administration. That was the agreement that we got to. And so importantly, not only is the operating asset in Queensland no longer with the company, none of that associated debt is with the company. So
Oh,
we're going to hit the boards this week, debt-free, creditor-free, plenty of cash in the bank, an EV of less than $5 million, a pro forma market cap of 10 based on the recapitalisation rates that we just did. And you might recall back in 2020 and 2021, these assets in this company traded well over $100 million on the same assets in a lower gold price environment. So very much look forward to having the geology team hit the ground running now that we've recapitalized and filled up the bank account and we're about to engage the drillers.
all right. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but again, I'm looking at it purely from, by the way, not financial advice, ladies and gentlemen. Give James a call or do your own research, but you're about to get back on the boards. It feels like that's a very low market cap. And it sounds like that was quite deliberate. So the pent up value, I'm looking for what you're going to be doing. You've raised the money, you've recapitalized. I assume you've got rigs on site ready to go because talk to us about I'm speaking to you coming into the middle of November. We all know that December, January can be a little bit of a quieter time. What are you going to do to, I guess, create shareholder value as we head into the back end of 2024? Can't believe it.
Yeah. It's come around quickly. It's taken me a bit over a year to organise ourselves to this point forward. But a couple of points there, Kerry, is that you might recall from your old interviews that now's the time that you get drilling in Victoria because the ground is no longer boggy after the winter period, and the crops are coming off or they're due to come off in the coming weeks. So uniquely for a company that hasn't been trading, we've actually already drilled the Tandara project over in the Bendigo zone, and that's because our joint venture partner Catalyst has drilled that for us, and we released those terrific results in August. It was great that we were able to maintain our 49% interest in that project that's only 50 kilometres from the Fosterville gold mine.
Sorry to interrupt you, but how did you maintain a JV when the company went into administration? Surely Catalyst turned around and said, right, they're gone and we're going to take this asset, or did they just continue along?
You'll have to ask that to them, but we certainly had a cash call to meet, and because of the support of people like yourself and others out there, look, we were able to come up with the that was about 300 grand if I recall. So we were able to meet that cash call and participate, and I don't think Catalyst are too disappointed that we came up with that because Tandara is a terrific asset, and as I've been trying to express, we are 100% focused on Victoria. We're 100% keen on our assets. And actually, Catalyst, to their credit, they've had a terrific year, and they're just absolutely shooting it out of this world with their assets over in WA. but we're keen on our Victorian assets, and Tandara is one of those that we're super keen on, as well as mobilising, as you were just asking, our own drill rigs through the contractors in the coming days throughout our own key operated projects. Now, our flagship, as you might remember, is the Irvine project near Stawell.
Yep.
We plan to spend about half those 7,000 meters on the Stawell project over the coming 12 to 15 months to grow that already 304,000 ounce inventory. Plus, on top of that, we have the exploration target, which is 280 to 420,000 ounces. So we're starting with a potential inventory there of over 700,000 ounces. And to add value from our low market cap where we're going to debut, we really need to get back in the field and show people the results that we previously had and really add to that and grow it. So as we're drilling out the Irvine project, recall just to the north and to the northeast, we have the Sanana project as well.
Yep.
And we have another project at Ballarat. So once we get our first drill rig going, we do not plan to stop. This is a continuous exploration program so that as we're waiting for assays or there's any other pause in activity around Stawell, we can have that rig move north up to Sanana or move to the south down near Ballarat to the Jubilee project. So the idea and what Kenny and the guys at Core Prospecting put together was that continuous plan so that we are continuously at work, so that we're continuously reporting to the market on the progress of our work and our assay results. And so, yeah, we really do look forward to kicking off that exploration plan in the coming days.
Quick question going back to Angela Lorrigan, because she's been with Southern Cross and she's now on your board. Is she still working somewhat with Southern Cross as well, or has she come completely across to you? Just wanted to.
No, she's a non-executive director, and her job really is to direct and review Peter DeVries is our exploration manager. And so Angela's job is just that oversight job that a normal technical director would have, as to review the proposals, review the exploration plan, review our drilling contracts, and the geophysics contract. So Angela's working pretty. If anyone knows Angela, she's quite a worker, right? So she's done plenty of conference calls into our board meetings from the site there at Kilmore, where Southern Cross have their core shed. So Angela's still trying to be semi-retired, I gather, as well as
It's not
consulting.
working too well.
Yeah. And consulting to Southern Cross very regularly. And she'll actually be helping me later this week at the Noosa conference as we talk to investors. So, yeah, Angela's quite a worker.
Sadly, I won't see you at Noosa. I've just been on a constant, I feel like I've constantly been on a plane, but I hear it's going to be a great event. So I wish you well up there. But if we
Good timing for us. Yeah.
very good timing for you guys. Why is it seems it feels like that Stawell Gold Corridor is getting a lot more attention right now. I noticed North Stawell Mines have just done a bit of a raise as well. There's a lot of gold down there. Why do you think all of a sudden there's a bit more eyeballs, a bit more interest in this area?
That's an excellent question, Kerry. I think because there has been a lot of attention on the east of the state, and obviously Agnico and the Fosterville, that's been a terrific story. Catalyst has obviously had a lot of success at the Four Eagles project, which joins our Tandara project, getting the real high grade hits. But people sort of forget because the Ballarat mine and the Stawell mine are actually privately owned, but they're operating gold mines. They sort of fly under the radar a little bit. And so to address that, we've got a seminar here in Melbourne on the 27th of November, where we will be presenting the Stawell Gold Mine will be presenting, North Stawell Minerals will be there, Waratah Minerals will be there also. So
And I'll be there.
And you'll be there, and Staveley will be there. Let's not forget
Yeah.
those guys. So it'll be great to bring a little bit more focus into the area in the West, because the West does have a terrific set of gold assets, and they probably, as I said, fly under the radar because they're privately held. And there's no need to, be updating the market constantly like listed companies are. So it's an excellent question. But in this gold price environment, we really do want to draw attention to the terrific endowment that there is also in the west of Victoria.
So if I could sum it up, and then I'm going to ask you 3 reasons why people should sit up and take notice, because I think it's important for people to understand that Navarre Minerals, they went into administration because they were focused on Queensland. That didn't turn out to be as good as they thought it was. They were trying to, get that into production, and they kind of put the Victorian assets not on ice, but they weren't paying very much attention to them at the time. You, as a result, have said, we don't need the Queensland asset, but we are going to focus purely on these assets like Sanano and Tandara down here. So go back to the focus of where you think the value lay in the first place. Is that a correct summation?
That's a very correct summation, Kerry. And the key to that was actually getting our hands on the assets again. We
Yeah.
purchased them out of administration at an extremely low value.
As
And we've done the right thing by taking them back to the old shareholders in that priority recapitalisation. And we've done that at the cheapest possible, the lowest possible valuation,
okay.
knowing full well that they should be worth multiples of the valuations that we've just done the recap at. So remember, we'll be starting with an EV of less than 5 mil on something that traded well over 100 mil, not what, 3, 4 years ago. So
At a lower gold price as well, not putting words into your mouth, but give me 3 reasons you think people should be sitting up. As you say, that with an EV of 5 mil, it's ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, probably when you see this conversation, they will be back on the boards under the code NML. Can you tell us you probably can't tell us what the new name is yet, can you?
the new name was approved at the AGM. It is Aurica, so it's like Eureka, but with AU at the start. And we'll look to pivot to that new name later in December. But first of all, we'll get trading again under the old guise of NML and Navarre.
All righty. So look out for Aurica later in the year, but for now it's Navarre. Give us 3 reasons they should sit up and take some notice right now, Mr. Gurry.
Thanks, Kerry. We have not yet participated in this gold price rally because we've been suspended for the last 12 months, but we're recommencing trading this week. So, and it's at the cheapest, lowest possible valuation. So those that buy their shares early should do well, in my view. We're also, secondly, about to commence drilling. So we all know that you need to be drilling as a gold company and exploration company to be showing people that you're doing the work for what you raised the capital for. And
Yeah.
we're just about to get commenced on that in the coming days, which is terrific. And remember, we go back to the market with a very large already inferred JORC resource plus exploration target on top of that, 700,000 ounces. Now that was done in a gold price environment, or the gold price was $2,500 per ounce in Aussie dollars. It's over 4,000 ounces. So as we put together the drill results plus this new economic environment, there's plenty of upside, I feel, for what we bring into the market. So that's why people should pay attention and really back the new team and back the new capitalisation and back our new image as we pivot to that Lorrigan name later in December.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. It is a whole new world for Navarre Minerals, soon to be Aurica. Still got those great assets down in Victoria, but as James just said, they have been not trading for about a year. They're now coming back on the boards at a very low val. Do your own research, but check them out. As I said, the ASX code for the moment is NML. James, thank you so much for joining me on Making Money Matter today. And ladies and gentlemen, if you like this, please hit the subscribe and share and like this interview so we can continue to grow and give you great content. Thanks, James.
Thanks for having me, Kerry.